So this happens to be a 24 to 50 millimeter zoom f4 Pentax line that they call the SMC Pentax F. So when this lens came out, you would have found it on something like this Pentax SF10 right here. The little SF10 autofocus, auto, a little bit of everything, film camera from back in the day. I mean, I'm guessing 1990s sometime. So that is the body that this lens came on. So anyways, let's take a look at this lens a little bit closer. So this lens at first looks to be okay, but after close inspection, it has some stuff going on just behind this front element. I don't know if you can see that in the video or not. Probably not, but just behind this front element there's an anomaly with one of the elements, internal elements. It's just a slight little thing with the front coating. I don't think it will be enough to have any real effect at all. Probably nothing, most likely, because it's real hard to see. You know, it really looks like almost a pristine front element there in clarity, except for a few little specks of dust. But there is something going on right there. Now externally, the rear element looks good. From the outside, it's clean. There's no scratches or marks. It looks well cared for, like it probably spent most of its life on the camera. I can see a pretty good speck of dust internally there. But this thing does, after close inspection, have some internal haze close to the rear element. It's hard to see, but if you look at it under the right lighting, you can see it. It is just a fine internal haze there that most likely could have an effect on the quality of the image. I'm pretty sure it could. Yeah, I just have to test it and see. And that's really a shame, because for the most part, it's a fairly clean lens. I mean, it shows some wear, but it hadn't been beat up or anything like that. It's just some kind of outgassing affects these lenses, and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but at times on some of these Pentax lenses for the M series and different things, you'll see like a lot of hazing inside, and at first you won't notice it. You'll look at a lens like this and go, oh, okay, this looks real good, real clean. The element looks beautiful, beautiful coating as you expect from Pentax. And then you look close, and then you see those little anomalies sometimes with the haze, and that can affect the quality of the image depending on how severe that haze is. But it definitely affects the value of the lens, so that's something to look out for. But on this one, you know, it's a pretty well sought after lens. It supposedly has a good optical reputation, so I'm anxious to try this one out. It is made in Japan. It is the not the FA, I'm sorry, just the F zoom, SMC F zoom, 24 to 50. Apparently this optical formula does go back to the M series lenses. Again, it's beautiful. There's no oil on the aperture blades. Slight anomaly underneath the front element. I can see it right now as I'm looking at it. I don't think that'll have any effect, but inside the rear element there, you will probably have a little negative effect. Could have some softening with that haze in there. The aperture blades are nice and snappy. No problem with that. This 50 millimeter here, that has a little problem. This one came with the little ME Super sitting there behind that you see. And for the most part, it's a real pretty lens, beautiful condition. Doesn't show much sign of use. But this behind this front element, there's a little anomaly going on with the coating. Again, I don't know if you can see it, but it's right behind that front element, basically middle section of the lens right there, with a lot of little spots, uniform spots I can see all around And then right in the center, like a smearing of that coating, whatever that coating is, or on that coating behind that front element, either on that rear of that front element or on that next element. It's like a smearing of the coating. So whether or how much effect that'll have, I'd say for the most part it'll still produce pretty good images. It's got a fair amount of internal dust I can see here internally, but usually that's not a huge deal. Beautiful, Pentax coating as usual. Smooth focus. Aperture blades seem to be working okay. Mounts fine to the camera. Again, smooth focus right there. But it's right behind that front element. So again, a little disappointment with this one because I was looking for this particular lens, this 50 1.4M. It's a good lens. You can't really go wrong with it. I've used it before. It's got a good look to it. It's good. You won't miss a beat with this lens right here. There's no doubt. It's a great little lens. It's just unfortunate, you just have to look around to find a good version. But something like this, it may not be that these problems have that big of an effect, and for something I've really got not that much into because I bought the whole outfit at a good price, it's just you have to take the good with the bad. This outfit came with the Pentax ME, the 50mm, the 200mm, and the 28mm, all in the Pentax M variety, and that's a common little combination that you come across. And alright, let's take a look at this little 28mm. It's a 28mm f2.8 Pentax M series. So it came in the same outfit as the 50mm there. This one fares a lot better though. It was also protected by a filter and had its own little lens case. So its own little lens case, which is nice. This one's in pretty good shape. A lot of times these cases inside are deteriorated. This one's actually in quite nice shape with that foam rubber right there, still in good solid condition. Outside, this one's kind of rough shape. I'm sure you could get some kind of a leather treatment and put on this one and improve it, but it did the job. And I'm still just wondering if being sealed up in these could contribute to overall not letting the lens breathe a little bit and causing that outgassing for stuff to settle on the elements internally. I'm not sure, but some of those Pentax lenses from the M line, that's hard to find a good copy that doesn't have that haze inside of it. So you can look for that, on your M series lenses, particularly like that M series 100mm macro f4. I mean, I don't think I've ever come across a version of that in the M series that didn't have quite a bit internal fog on it there. This 28 2.8 is a lot better. It's the elements outside are real clean, minimal wear on the back. You can see a little light marking. As I rotate that, you may see those light reflections. That's from mounting the lens and taking it off. The lens has been used a fair amount. The aperture blades show a little bit of wear on them, a little bit of shininess around the outside edge of the aperture blades. Alright, front element looks great, no problems here. None of them little spots inside, no, as far as I can tell, no weirdness going on behind that front element. So this is a good M, 28 2.8M. So I guess the point here is that you got to take the good with the bad. When you buy these old outfits, some of the stuff is going to be good and some not. It's just the nature of the beast. These are old items now, made back in the 1980s, and it's getting a lot of years on them. But the body of this one is beautiful, has its nice little past the inspection of Kazuhushi Takamichi, and he said, yes, this lens is worthy and I shall pass it. And he did. He put his little sticker on there and he passed it with pride from the Pentax Asahi Optical Company. they move this one out and into the world to live. And get away, little bug. And it has lived all these years in this little case, and it's done really well. So hats off to you there, Pentax, for all you do. Pentax M series 200 millimeter f4. Exterior condition is like the other lenses, beautiful condition, no real sign of wear. This one's got the pass sticker as well. Narahishi Takamachi is the one that passed this one, and it's beautiful. The coloring is still beautiful and bright and vibrant on your aperture and your depth of field scale and all that. If you were looking at a lens that had a lot of wear and was in really kind of heavy use, you'd see those colors. They get diminished and washed out, but the blue is beautifully blue, and the yellow of that 40 right there is still beautifully yellow. So this lens looks great. The inside is beautiful. There's no haze, there's no fungus on this one. I've looked at it really close. Aperture blades are free of oil. No damage. This one also came equipped with a filter. Whoever owned this setup kept their filters on there, apparently. I don't know, maybe they took them off when they photographed, you never know. But this one actually has, hey there little bugaboo, let's do a macro, want to? This one actually has a B&W filter on it, which is actually a nice filter right there. It's a B&W 52E KR15 1.1X. Whatever that is right there. Some kind of a warming filter, it looks like. I can see the little bit of warmth. But that's a better filter. I mean, that's a better glass filter. And so that's maybe a tip for you. If you're going to put a glass filter in front of your lens, you know, your beautiful glass element that Takeichi Norihichi and his fellow workers passed as being beautiful and worthy. So again, a nice example of this 200 f4, and this one gets pretty good reviews. It's fairly highly rated. I mean, it's a good, as far as the 200s go, it's about as good as anybody's. I've used a Minolta 200 millimeter f4, a later one of the MD that was really sharp, so I'm anxious to use this one and see. But it's beautiful inside. I mean, there's no fungus among us, there's nothing in there, there's no dust. This one has really fared well through the years, and they do have a built-in lens shade, which is nice. That little built-in lens shade is a really nice little handy dandy feature, and these lenses can be found relatively cheap. The 200 millimeter, you might find this one anywhere from $60 to $125, depending on the condition. So you can find this one probably from anywhere user condition of maybe around 35 or 40 bucks up to you know, upper 70, 80 bucks for a better copy. Maybe a little more than that for a mint condition one, but in general, you know, 60, 75 bucks should get you a good example of, I think, of this little 28 2.8M. And it has some pretty decent reviews. People seem to like it pretty well. I think there actually could be a couple of different versions of this, optical versions within this M series of the 28 2.8. There's also a 28 3.5M as well, but this is the 2.8 version. This little 50 1.4M series, you're going to probably find it anywhere from you know, $40 or $50 for a kind of a user bargain grade condition. You know, upwards $70, $80 for a better copy, maybe $100, $110 for a really mint nice example. This one with these problems on the coatings there, I'd guess value of this lens is probably $25 to $30 maybe, you know, is about what it should be worth. But you know, if optically it performs pretty much the way it should, then this is a lens I would keep. You know, I'd almost prefer to have a lens that's got a flaw, maybe a cosmetic flaw or something that degrades its value, and That way you don't have to worry so much about messing it up on a rainy day. You can maybe get some beautiful images from a little lens that has no more value than a $20 or $25. You could get a world-class image from a little $25 lens. That's hard to believe.